What's up, Summit County? It's already February, and based on our first episode, that there's going to be a turnaround on snow. That has not happened, and we're seeing the worst snowpack in recorded history. However, we have some fun things coming up in the county, or I guess in the United States, and so yeah, this is Up in Summit, a show about what's actually happening across Summit County, from all the way in Blue River to Heaney. My name is Shiro. I'm a longtime Colorado transplant, a ski bum, biker, and digital marketer.
And I'm Ariel. I'm a born and raised local business owner. Shout out to Everything Colorado, social skier, mountain biker, and community member.
What you can expect each episode is a conversation about local community, business headlines, as well as our favorite upcoming updates, which include a lot of events that we think are going to be cool. So, whether you're a local, visit often, or passing through, this show's for people who care about mountain life. And if you have any ideas on what we should talk about, please send us a DM. All right. Just for the first topic of discussion that I had is, do you think timeshare slash fractional real estate is good or bad for the ski community?
Well, I mean, I think it can be argued, and I guess the question is what part of the ski community, you know? I think rising real estate costs all around are making it harder for it to be accessible for everybody to ski and maybe the core of skiing. And I think at a lot of places, skiing is kind of shifting to be more luxury versus, accessible to everybody, unfortunately. What do you think?
I mean, I think in general, and it's very close to like that 50-50 line, I think it's a net negative for the community. And I think one, it's because, yeah, it increases real estate costs.
But is it good or bad for the ski community? Like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like what your perspective is. Like, if you own a timeshare in Breck, like it's probably you probably think it's good. But if you're a local who's been here for 10 years and you have no need to buy the timeshare, and if it's bringing up home prices,
Well, I don't even really think that the timeshares are necessarily bringing up home prices because if the locals are staying, like, we're not buying ski in, ski out. I mean, it'd be dope, but
yeah,
like the ski and ski out ones are on the mountain and they're actually housing a lot of people and they're allowing a lot of people to come through our community, which in turn is better for our community because the economy is better because you have more people coming and spending money. And then opposed to traditional real estate where people buy and they buy second houses and like a vast majority of the houses in Summit County are second homes that aren't even Airbnbs. They're just empty. I feel like that is worse technically for our community and the ski community than a timeshare.
yeah, that's a good point. Um,
Because like that's our housing. Like we're not housed in a timeshare and we're not buying real estate on the edge of the mountain.
yeah, no, I get it. Yeah, it's a hard question. Like, it depends on what your stance is. Like, if you are a core lord shredder, like it's I feel like it's always going to be bad because it brings all the Jerry's to the mountain, right? Which, people don't like. But if you're looking at it from a visitor perspective, yeah, I think it's good. And if you own property, I think it's good because I do think it does raise property values locally. If you're a business owner, it's good because it brings more people there. It's generally like, it continues bringing people here and increases it.
And like
I think the question is, do we always need more, right? Like, if there's 1,000 people who live in the community and that population continues, like, is that a bad thing?
well, this is America where everybody wants more, more, more.
Right.
That's the culture of our society. I don't necessarily think more is always better. But I guess like the other question is what is the ski community?
Yeah.
Because like you said, the core lords, they might hate the Jerry's, but then the Jerry's are the ones that are actually funding the mountain and upgrading the lifts and making the park better because they're paying $25 for a slice of pizza. Just kidding. A burger. $12 or something for a
Well,
pizza.
in Breckenridge, clearly the visitors have not helped to make the park better. If anything, it's made it worse.
Yeah, but Copper, they have. Copper's like invested a lot. And like, is ski community just the core lord park guys? Are they just the lifties or are they also the families that come and they bring their kids? are they also the ski teams that come and utilize the courses? Like, because I think like maybe like what you're also getting at is like the luxury side of skiing might be ruining the ski community or like the actual vibe. Because I think that families, people that actually ski, people that are skiing their whole lives are like dedicated to it. I think there might be a little bit of a disconnect between luxury ski, like Montclair in Aspen this past weekend, doing like a super fashion show and they have fringe on their jackets. Like, is that intrinsic to ski culture? It kind of is, because like fashion and ski goes hand in hand. But when people buy a luxury timeshare just to sit next to a hot tub or in the hot tub next to a pool, maybe that's where we start to wonder, is it about skiing or is it about opera, luxury, and the aesthetic?
Yeah. Well, I think this is a fun question. You can ask amongst your friends if you live in the ski community or you go skiing in general. But yeah, let's move on here. This one's going to be quick, but I've recently seen a lot of posts on Reddit about stolen boards, mostly in Breckenridge, stolen boards and skis. I grew up going to the summit at Snoqualmie in Seattle, which was only a 40, 50-minute drive from Seattle. This was a big issue when I was in like high school. So yeah, just like wanted to share some ideas. Just use common sense. Like, don't put your board on like the very end of a ski rack that's like the closest to the gondola or like a parking lot. Like, use common sense. If someone's gonna steal your shit, that's the easiest place it's gonna take it. So like, try and your board in like a cubby corner or like somewhere a little bit farther that someone can't just like walk away and go to their car, go to the gondola really quickly. Like, just use common sense. Another thing you can do is you can just buy a really cheap lock, like a cable lock. That will deter people from taking your board. And then, yeah, lastly, you can put an air tag or whatever on it. But seriously, it's really like, just by doing that, you're going to minimize your risk of getting your board stolen. So that would be my advice. I don't know if you ever saw issues growing up with stolen boards, but it's kind of sad to see that happening now.
I would say traditional ski culture is that you do not steal people's stuff when you put it on the racks. Our community is very safe, and it's just not cool to do that. However, I did get my poles stolen in Vail last year. They left my skis, but I mean, my poles are really beautiful. They're gone now, but I was pissed. And so I saw actually on Instagram, someone made a video where like two skiers, they like took one ski and they put their friend's ski with theirs, and then they put them like really far away from each other, which is kind of funny. So you could do that if you're a skier. Also, take a photo of your skis. Know what they look like, because a lot of the times the cops, like honestly, they have caught people for doing this. And because it's so intrinsic to ski culture in our community, they actually will go after people and they'll find them. But if you don't have any information on your skis or like any way to sort out that they're yours, then they won't be able to get them back to you. Same with bike theft.
Yeah, good point. And then, yeah, like with skis, what I always did growing up at Snoqualmie is just split your skis and put them out.
Yeah.
But it's a little, you can't do that with boards. So
Yeah. And report it. Like, a lot of the cops up here will look into this. And like, I know Boulder too. They work with each other and they have found people. So don't steal skis. We will come for you. Or snowboards.
yeah. All right, cool. And the last thing I have is obviously the Super Bowl's this coming Sunday. I'm super excited. I'm a Seahawks fan. I mentioned I'm from Seattle earlier. Go Hawks. Where should you watch the Super Bowl? Here's a couple I picked a couple bars at each kind of part of town. So in Breck, I definitely recommend Burke and Riley's, or a little bit more family friendly will be downstairs at Eric's. Shout out to Reddit. In Frisco, I would definitely recommend Ollie's. And Highside, I think they have the best viewing room and capacity. And then in Silverthorne, Red Mountain Grill or Syndicate Brewing. So definitely recommend those spots to go watch the game. If you're in Copper, I know Nowhere Pizza is doing an event too, so that could be fun.
We love Nowhere.
Cool. Well, Ariel, I know you got a couple more event updates as well.
Yeah. Okay, so we have some fun events coming up. This Saturday, February 7th, Outer Range is having their 9-year anniversary party. If you have not been to an Outer Range party, do not miss this. They are so fun. After that, at 6 p.m. in Frisco on Saturday, we have Spontaneous Combustion, and they are lighting Christmas trees on fire for a giant bonfire, and then they have fireworks at 8 p.m. That's at the Frisco Marina lot. That's also super fun. So Frisco might be where you want to be on Saturday. After that, we have a lot of events going on Thursday, February 12th. The Dillon Forum meeting is happening again. So if you care about the future of Dillon, these events are actually really fun and thoughtful. Then there's the locals night at the Silverthorne Ice Castles, where it's $5 tickets for locals. I'm definitely going to go to that. I want to see these ice castles for myself. I've heard they have gotten better and better every year. And then Saved by the Wine is having a singles mixer for singles, couples, and for people that it's complicated. So all are welcome. They're doing an IRL hinge, so submit your application, or better yet, submit your single friends application, and they will put it up on the wall. So we all know how hard it is to date in Summit, so bring all the singles, or it's complicated. And don't forget that there's a free wax night every Tuesday night at Highside Brewing in Frisco with Snow for Life from 5 to 8 p.m. And then last, in Copper, we have Hit Balls is open with a state-of-the-art golf simulators. So definitely check them out. They're really fun. We also have some business updates. One in particular, one that has been greatly anticipated. The ODI, or Old Dillon Inn, is officially open. Bread and Salt has brought us back the Old Dillon Inn, which used to be, it's a historic building, and so they built the Bluebird Market around it, but the restaurant is back, the bar is back, and Shiro and I went there last Friday, and honestly, we loved it. So we have a new spot in Silverthorne.
That's awesome. And yeah, it's just for reference, it's the if you've been to the Bluebird Market in Silverthorne, they had to build. There's a building within the building in the Bluebird Market, and they couldn't break down the Old Dillon Inn because it's a historic building. So the restaurant is actually inside of there. It's pretty cool. They also have happy hour from I think 4 to 6 every
Yeah.
day, and so yeah, pretty good deals in there for sure for happy hour.
And when you go in, ask the bartender or waiters about some history of the ODI, because it's intrinsic to Summit County, and honestly before ski culture, but yes, when it ramped up and the ski areas were just getting going, there's a lot of history in there. So
Awesome. Well, thank you again for joining us for this episode. We do want to hear from you about, what you like about the show, what you'd like to hear more of. We want to continue and format this for the Summit County folks. So let us know, and thanks again.